למשווק, מדברות, הולכות, podcast that will help you to become your own mentor. איתן הלי ויינברג, the daughter, סמדר ויינברג, the mother, our amazing guest, Brett Kaufman. And before I will give you the magic tools to help us, let's talk about the episode name. שיווק בעיר הגדולה, המדריך למשווק ולעסק, המתחיל, that was Hebrew. Marketing in the big city, the marketer's guide to the small business.
I like that.
A question from home. Are you ready?
No, but
Brett Kaufman is a big marketing, well-known expert here in Miami, right?
Yes.
And he's a Jew, also, that we love that, right? And you also spent time in Israel.
I did.
Let's talk about it after the question. Hey to our nerd queens. Since it seems that you did it in a big city, Tel Aviv, I can't understand your words, this is so fun. And my business came to the age of... I'm sorry, my mom will read a question because she write it here and I can't understand anything. I'm sorry, go for it.
And this is after a lot of effort.
We are working on your hosting muscles. It's like Chinese.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay. Since it seems you did it in a big city, I'll be happy to get tools and understand more about marketing worlds. I have finally gained the courage to sell myself and my business, but come on the age of 40s and an Instagram account, really? How do I know who is the right and the good market agent or manager? How do I know who is the right person for me and my business? How do I know if I even need one or should I do it myself? If I'm doing it myself, how can I know if I'm doing it right? Did you girls take a marketing course before? Thank you from me and our green north.
How do you know if you should print your question or trust your mother? Print your question. So
Print your question.
maybe if it's Polish, you know, like Polish moms can't write well.
Usually,
Understand something for that? Try to read it.
It's in Spanish. I can't
It's
read
Spanish. Habla español.
Yeah,
Habla
yeah,
español. That's cool. So Brett Kaufman, right?
Yes.
So if I would meet you when you were like 4 years old, and I would ask you, what do you want to do and be when you will be older and big? What would you answer me?
When I was 4, I wanted to be a sports anchor or a TV host, either way. The problem was I had a stutter and I embarrassed myself very badly. I remember 6th grade, I remember the day because my dad came in actually to watch because we had it was like middle school. So now we're 6th grade, I was like 12, maybe 11. So my dad came in to watch us and he was very excited because he got to see me on TV. And I was giving a report on the Houston Astros, which is a baseball team. I said asteroids, and I was ridiculed.
So welcome to the family because, you know, our creative side makes our brain sometimes like to misspell words and like have fun with words. But, you know, you said something when I talked with you and you write it like the power of a word, right? And I really connected to that because I am playing with words all the time. I'm a writer. I'm like, it's my world. I love it. It's like my magic world. It came from me so easy. I'm like creating and I'm getting a lot of love from that because I'm touching people. And it's fun to see it also in the marketing world that sometimes the marketing world, you know, people, oh my God, I didn't used to bear like marketing people and like everything was so fake.
Too artificial,
Yeah.
flattering the client. How do you do? And they say your name when they call you on the phone. They say probably this is the way they teach them. They call you in your name, and they have to call you on your name another time. It's like Smadar. How do you do? Smadar. אז מה את אומרת?
It's like they have like, you know, robot in their brain and they like split it out. Like, but there is the good side of that. When you're really an expert, you can do magic with the words in a good way because you can take a business and find the magic words for it and create something for the business. And this is what you do, right?
This is exactly what we do.
Tell us about it.
So we run a full stack marketing agency, which is a fancy way of saying we write words that people buy. And that is otherwise called copywriting. So to your point, which I love, is that like ta-da! The more I started to learn copywriting and marketing, the more I realized you strip everything you know about marketing away from it. Because the more authentic you are, the more you will sell. And my business partner, John, he has a great quote that says, people don't buy coaching, they buy coaches. And so the whole idea is like they're buying you, right? So your personality, who you are, because there's a million people that are all at least good enough to teach you something to solve your problem. But do they connect with you? Do they resonate with you? Do you see yourself potentially grabbing a beer or a drink with that person? That's who at least I would hire as a coach to solve a problem of mine. So the more authentic you can present yourself online, the more you'll do, or the better you'll do in business.
I think in everything in life, I feel that after the COVID, something good is started to happen. I feel that more people are starting to lose their masks.
Yeah.
I feel that the authentic way is like starting to bubble and starting to like go over the place, and I'm happy. And this is why I change also. I think it's also affected me to change my point of view of the marketing world, because when you find people or marketing agents like you, that you are here, you're authentic, you're free. This is what you said, I can connect with you. You understand?
Yeah.
So what do you think will be the best tip that you can give for a small new business that's just like starting to spring his wings in the world?
You need to figure out what your strength is, because this took me a while to do. Because like usually you look at someone and you follow exactly what they do, and then you're like, this does not feel aligned with who I am at my core, and that's where you get lost and confused. So for example, I realized my strength is more networking. So I'm like, okay, if I want to meet people that could be potential clients, let me go to rooms where they would be at. Where my business partner, as an example, is such a brilliant writer that he could just write something on the internet and people would flood into his DMs and be like, I want to work with you. We all have different strengths. So the first thing you need to do, figure out what you're really, really good at, and then go there to find people to be your clients. And then the second step is to find someone who's built the exact business that you're trying to build. And then if you have the funds, hire them to be your coach. Because then you save so much time versus you trying to figure it out on your own.
Like a marketing coach.
Yeah, or it whether it's marketing or it's like, let's say you're a fitness professional and you want to grow your fitness business. You hire someone that has built a fitness business before. How did you do it? Can I give you money in order to teach me?
Yes, you can learn from his mistakes.
Yes, exactly.
And to have a short way to success.
100%.
So when you're meeting a new client, what is the first steps that you take?
I need to see if we're going to actually connect, because I learned the hard way that we've taken on clients because we needed the money, and I was like, this is a miserable project, or like we don't align. When I learned more of the things that they're into, I'm like, that's not things I support, and that made me feel very icky. So first off, it's like, do I enjoy spending time with you? Because we are going to be spending time throughout this process. The next thing is that I have to actually understand what you're trying to build, because if we're not clear on our communication of what your real problem is, not the one you're saying, but the real problem is, how am I going to actually solve it? So it takes a lot of time of like, what do you need? And then going back and forth to get really deep on like, what are you trying to solve? The business you're trying to build, and the exact person you're trying to help, because that's how I know I can get you the success.
Can I ask you a hard question?
No.
Can I ask you a hard question?
Yes.
Can I ask you a challenging question?
Go for it.
And feel free to share it. To share or not, you can refuse to answer. Do you work with business that also sell things like Coca-Cola?
That sell Coca-Cola? Yeah, sure.
Why?
Why? Because if I'm understanding the line of questioning you're going down, everyone has different values of like, what is your bigger driver? So for me, if someone was like anti-Semitic, I'd be like, nah, you're not for me. I don't want to do anything with you. Coca-Cola, if they're selling it because that could be bad, it's bad for your health. Well,
it's not gonna be. It's bad.
It is, yeah. It is bad for your health. So it's about lining up your values of like, because the people we work with at least align with our core values. So I will turn away someone that does not align.
Like Kanye West, you will not. Okay.
No.
No, I'm not like judging you. I'm asking it because I'm going to ask another thing that it's connected to values and challenging in the marketing world, right? Because we all know that Coca-Cola is not good for our health, and let's just use like random name, like
Sure.
Like Disney.
Like random name, like a new food that came to the market. Let's call him the poison food. Okay, random name. And now he's your client, right? And you need to marketing that. What do you do when you have challenging that you have like a product that is not healthy and you need to market that? How do you do that?
Like cigarettes, like electronic
like
cigarettes.
like everything, yeah.
Well, ideally, we wouldn't take that client on. So we would try not to be in that situation where we would be forced to make that decision.
Okay, but Coca-Cola.
Okay, but that's not our client, though. The idea, though, if you're asking me if I was marketing for Coca-Cola and what I would try to do to sell it, is this
No, if you have a product,
Yeah.
okay, you bring the answer. You have a product that you ever, even if it was in the past before change
Sure.
or whatever.
I have an example, though.
Yeah.
So we have a client that sells kratom. Are you familiar with what kratom is?
No, what is that?
So kratom is a plant that's made in Southeast Asia. It's used to help you wean yourself off of opioids. It's one of the use cases, but it's not FDA approved. So because of that, certain people would say like, this is harmful because you're basically selling a drug. Well, the people we know that buy it are people that we know have the addiction, meaning like they're trying to wean themselves off of an addiction that they have. So we know who we're writing to, we know who we're marketing to try solving that problem. The copy we could have written was like, if you want to get high, do this thing. That's unethical. We don't want that. We want saying, here's how this can actually help you. If you have this problem, you can take this and here's how we'll cure it. And here's other people that have taken it to cure it. So there's always a fine line, especially in the supplement space, because it sounds like that's like a thread we could go down, where you can easily take something that has negative health consequences to you. And so you want to make sure what you're promoting is actually a good product that can actually help someone.
And also in very utopic world, you can do business only with those whose values are exactly as yours. You cannot choose in business every little.
Sure, yeah, it's hard.
Yes, it's a problem. It's an utopic world, and also Coca-Cola and
Okay, listen, I'm not going there. You didn't understand the line of the question. I'm staying in the marketing world. I'm not in the politics. I'm not God and the devil right now. I don't know why you take it there, but it wasn't the direction of the question. I'm just trying to give as much tools as I can to people that don't know how to market it. And it's easier to market something when it's healthy and it's challenging.
Totally.
And this was only
it's
the
easier
direction
to
go
market
there.
something that you are.
We are not here to
that you
educate
like.
Brad's
like.
agency.
Yes.
That wasn't the line, and I don't know why you take it. But if you take it there, go ahead and keep it going.
I mean that it's easier probably. I'm not in the marketing business, but it's probably easier to work with a client that you like his product and that you approve with the values that the products gives. But sometimes it's in every business. Also, I can tell you, like I'm a lawyer in Israel.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have a case that you have to help the person to achieve his goal, but you don't like the person. And maybe you don't like his way. Maybe he wants to behave in a way that you don't appreciate. Mm-hmm. But he's the client, and he should get his goal. And you have to serve, to help him, to give your best knowledge to do it. So. This is an ethical question. That's what I mean. It's not a devil or the angel. It's an ethical question. I think for every business, what do you do when the client is not behaving according to your values?
Yeah, it's the mission that they're on. So if that client, right, that you're representing in that case, the end goal that you know, like if they're innocent or whatever it is, maybe they're not the best person, but what they're trying to achieve or like they're wrongfully accused. If the mission lines up, then it's okay. But the idea is if the person's bad and the mission's bad, that's when we stay very far away. Because it's also tough, right? We work with a lot of large influencers, and influencers nowadays feel like they have to be news. I know we're not getting politics.
Influencer here take like outside services?
Yeah, so like they sell a lot of info products. So like buy my coaching, buy my course on this, like either how to build a business or how to lose weight or how to anything.
So they do it with you?
Yeah, we work with a lot of coaches that have massive followings. But what we found is a lot of these influencers, especially around elections, are forced to speak out about topics that they're not experts in because they became an expert at, let's say, weight loss as an example. but now they're forced to speak out about topics that they're not experts on. That's where it can get dangerous because now I'm like, okay, I'm working with someone that what if they don't align with my views? What if this person says like the wrong thing about Israel, but yet they're a client of mine that I like what they're doing? That's a very real situation that we could one day face ourselves in that we haven't crossed that bridge, thank God, but it's a real thing that I think about all the time because influencers are like modern day news outlets.
Yeah.
They have a lot of power.
A lot of power.
They have a lot of power. This is what I'm saying. It's like, we came back from Disney World, I'm saying, he has so many powers in his hands. So why you are allowing that in every corner there is so much poison, so much sugar, so much addicted stuff that make the people weak? Because we are body, mind, and soul. We are what we eat. So the fun thing about it, you're selling happiness. You're selling love.
Yeah.
And you are keeping your customer in a prison of addiction to bad stuff. And you keep them weak. And I was so like I have like the emotion of the happiness, but I was so sad in the place that I am today to see that. And I'm not saying it's just put healthy stuff inside of the Disney World, okay? I'm not saying that. But even in the less healthy stuff, you have like things that will be so much better than the stuff they are putting out there.
But I'm saying that in Disney World, it's amazing. Yes, it's amazing project. It's something that it's God and Disney, something like this. But why do they? Why everything is so unhealthy? Sugar and oil and addicted, and a lot of things that make you addicted. They can put also a green food, like something healthier for people who wants to be happy in Disney, but they want to have their food normally. We couldn't find anything to eat there.
Because he's not yet, maybe he will be Disney's marketing agent. We will leave that, but I will want to ask you, what was your biggest client that you had?
In regards to like size of their business?
In regards of your heart.
And like, so one of the clients that we love sells olive oil from Greece. And they have a whole...
Greece, she loves Greece. There is a Greek festival right now.
There is, yes.
Oh my God.
So we wanted to go maybe, no?
She had
check it out.
She had a
It's
Greek
amazing.
boyfriend when she was like 17 years old.
17
And
years
she
old.
ran away from home. And she didn't tell her father and mother.
Because
She
he
just-
wasn't Jewish.
She's rebelled away, so, you know.
No,
like
but
some-
he was. He's not with us today, so.
By the way, are you single?
I am.
היי בנות, מה קורה? יש לי חתיך הורס, I have this, because I'm just starting to do a שידוך, you know.
It's not-
It's a mitzvah, so
It's
it's
a mitzvah.
maybe we'll find you know, like a Jewish...
My Bubby would be very, very happy if you did that.
Okay.
She
So,
calls me all the time.
See, he's smart, he's authentic, he know how to dress, he's beautiful.
Keep going, don't
He
stop.
didn't
This is
represent the Disney yet, and didn't help Disney yet, and that's it.
Yet.
Okay, Greek oils.
Yes, so they're called Cassandrino's olive oil. Amazing olive oil. Shout out to Tony.
See, this is the selling,
He's great.
the selling guy is popping up.
But he's not a current client, so I don't get anything if you buy from him. That's how amazing it is. But talk about like authenticity. So they're a family-run farm in Greek. They go back over 100 years. So
Wow.
that's amazing, right? Started with this thing is great.
This is also
Great,
always
great,
a good story when this is a family
Yeah.
business running for a lot of years. It helps to
100%. Well, it helps to market if you care about family. So it kind of ties in a little bit with what we're saying with Disney. If the person that's going to buy Cassandrino's, they care about it being organic, like so very healthy because it's fresh products. They care more about like small business in regards to family owned. So it all goes back when you're marketing. Who am I exactly selling to? Because the person that could go to Disney might be like, I hear you, I 100% hear you, but I just want to spend a day with my family, away from the world, because my job kind of sucks, and all I want to do is just enjoy this time with my family. I know I'm putting sugar in my body, but I just want that moment of happiness because my life isn't as happy.
Yeah, I wish, but it's not sugar. It's a lot of chemicals, and
Oh, I'm with
sugar
you.
is good, but you can have like organic sugar, right?
But
And you could have like Never mind, it's a different episode, but I do want to, because you said something really smart right now, and we are in the episode that it's like a guide.
Okay.
So if we are like, let me know if I understood you right. The first step for a business, for a small business, is to understand who his audience is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there you are going to his head. You're telling him, okay, who is your audience? You ask him that.
Yeah, but it's a like deeper conversation. Who exactly are you helping? Where do they hang out? What do they read? What do they consume? What do they eat? Like I want to know them like I'm getting to know you guys. Like I want to know you on an intimate level because that's how I know how to write to you. That's how I know how to attract you.
You wrote something that you can sell anything to a person if you know how to do the magic words, right? What do you mean with that?
So you can sell anything to someone if they are ready to buy, and you do it ethically. What I mean by that is like if you don't ever want to sell like bullshit because that's just bad. The idea is that if you can make someone that has a problem aware, meaning okay, I know this is an issue of mine. I now know how bad the issue is. I now know there's a solution out there to solve it, and now know that you have the solution to solve my problem. Then that person will buy. But if that person isn't aware, then it's a longer sales cycle. So for example, if you really want to solve an issue, but you're not aware of exactly how to do it, I can't be like, here you go, buy this thing, because you don't really know how bad your issue is. I would have to show you a lot of content, educate you, bring you more aware of what's going on, and then slowly start being like, your life could look like this. Now you know that this how bad this problem is. Here's people like you that have had this problem solved. Here are the steps they took. If you want to be like them and now living this way, I can show you how to do that, but come to me when you're ready. So it's a different style of selling depending on how ready they are to solve it.
And if their families, for example, in Israel, they don't have a lot of money and they don't have like budget to a marketing campaign, what would the tips and tools that you can give them in order to do marketing by themselves?
Yeah, it would be in person. I would be like their greatest assets can be them. Because if you can, I love selling face-to-face because I love connecting with people. So the idea is that if you should find someone in your area that you can help, and then having a one-on-one conversation is going to do more for your sales than just putting something online, because you can actually hear how they're, when you say something, how they respond to it. You can read their body language. You can actually get to know someone, and it gives you so much feedback on what their exact problem is. And if you find one person in your area that you can solve that problem for, guarantee there's other people in the area that you can also help. So
okay, and if it's like a gift store?
Mm-hmm. Same thing too. If I figure out, so like if you're selling Dead Sea salt, right? We'll go with like the very typical Israeli thing.
People sell, like Israeli sells Dead Sea stuff? Maybe that's
I love it.
Like for 100 years.
Yeah.
You know that salt clean your energy, by the way, so it's a good thing anyway.
So you would just, if you're selling even a gift, go to where the people that would buy the gift hang out. So if you're selling like beauty products, you go to, you spend time at your local gym. Now you have your beauty products. You're in organic conversation.
But this is like good tips for people that feel comfortable to come and blah blah people in the face. But there are some people, the shy one, or the people that don't like to sell stuff. They think it will go from here to mouth, and I think a lot of that connected to some NLP world that we are holding like block belief about stuff, and then we are telling yourself a story that I can go and sell my product right now.
Yeah.
And in the real self-conscious is because you're just like holding for someone that you're not worthy enough or whatever. Because if you believe in your product and if you believe in yourself, you should be able to come and say, hey, I have that and I'm doing that. Maybe you can use my service.
Yes, but sometimes it means that you are asking to get something from someone. When you want to sell him, the feeling is that you are asking, do me a favor, please buy for me my product or myself, my knowledge, whatever you sell. But what you said is very important. When you change your point of view of what you are doing, you are not asking to take from the client something. You want to give him something. It's helpful to do it. Even though there are people who are not capable to go to other people and talk to them and try to sell themselves. It's a lot of very good people who have a lot of knowledge or a very good product, but they don't know to do it.
Right.
So sometimes, unfortunately, even if you don't have the budget for a marketing agent or manager, sometimes you must, if you want to get into business, you must find a budget, even with a loan or something, to do it, because you have to start somewhere.
Yeah. And another alternative is that if you are more shy, which is very valid, I used to be like very, very, very shy, you just post online how the product or service has helped you. And you show how it's transformed your life. Because then by association, someone's gonna be like, oh wow, I've seen the change in you. I want that change as well. Can you tell me how it helped you?
Yes, many people do it. Like in weight loss, they do it. I took it. Now look at me now. Look at my picture before, and that's the way they sell.
And you believe in that?
100%. I think that's the best testimony. Anything that we sell, we've done before. Otherwise, I don't feel authentic.
If you don't try it, it's like if now someone wants to give you to publish to market let's say a cream, cosmetic product, and you didn't use it and you didn't see the result, but you said please buy it. It's something else if you use it and you can say, let's say, acne. You see my acne before and the acne after, and look at this.
I will explain. I'm saying that today in the Photoshop world, for example, you have so many fake news and fake commercial. So me, for example, when I was a child and I grew up in the north of Israel, and I didn't have awareness of that. Not everything that I'm seeing in the news and not everything that I'm reading in the articles is true. Sometimes there is just a lot of money that was invested in that. I can't believe those stuff. I need to feel the energy of the person, and then I will know. And the net, the Instagram, everything is full with that. So I'm saying, is this still the strongest tool to sell?
So it is, because if you're doing that, like promoting your product, you also, that's where you share more things about your life. Because I agree with you. If I just see someone took something and that like now their life is amazing, I'd be like, I don't know you. But if you took something, now your life is amazing, and I know more about you, we have other things in common because you took the time sharing your life online, well, at least I connect with you on that. Therefore, I trust you more because we have commonalities. I'll be more inclined to buy from you. That's why influencer sales are what's the most popular way, the most successful way of doing it. It's more, people now, if you are running ads behind something, direct marketing, meaning just like an ad to like a checkout page, works well. But influencer marketing, where you pay an influencer to on their page to shout out your product, because that person follows the influencer, that does so well, sometimes even better than just a direct ad to a checkout page. Because that person following the influencer trusts them. Right?
Yes, you trust them, and it's like people nowadays they want to be friends of the influencer. They when they follow the influencer and they see what it does during the day.
They appreciate the habits. They appreciate the person.
So they believe that if he takes now a product and he said this is a very good product, they can trust him and said, oh yes, I know him. I can trust him. He's my friend.
Yeah.
It's like a friend telling them. It's not like a modelist that you see now, she get money to say, look at this car, beautiful car, very, very good car.
Right.
And everyone is looking in this advertisement only because the model is very beautiful. And then they go to sleep and they forget all about it.
Yeah.
But that's why I think that in the marketing mode of the modern times, the influencers they're even better than modelists and things like this. That even it's better than writing like an advertisement in the newspaper. This is something that they don't do anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
So if we're going back to the guide, and we know you said first thing that like a business should do is to understand, okay, who is the audience?
Yeah.
Who am I selling for? What is the second step? You understand the audience. Let's take, for example, that we want to sell cups.
Cups.
Cool
Yeah.
cups, cups with cool
מדברות
sentence
הולכות.
for a writer that writes something, for example. Okay? And then the audience, for example, is like really huge. Take it from there.
So, yeah.
Like I'm trying to.
So then in that case, it's like, okay, what slogans am I selling? And then, so I had started to identify who would be the buyer of that slogan, right? So we're talking about, let's say, a writer's buying that. Then the thing is, you need to figure out where they hang out. This could be online. So are they in writing groups? Are they on Reddit? Are they on Quora? Like just different, those are more different, like less mainstream than like a Facebook and Instagram, because if I can join a community that they're spending time talking to other writers in, and like, by the way, I got this cool cup that has this great quote from Ernest Hemingway, which we all as writers love, you'll be more inclined to buy it because I'm already hanging out where you're hanging out online.
So you're saying that part of your service, for example, is to tell your client that, okay, this is your audience, now we need to understand where they're hanging out, right? And then you're sending your clients there? What is your next step?
Yeah, if they're in person, right, go to those actual places. If you can't be there in person, go online where they hang out. That's why like Facebook groups exist. That's why different just communities.
How do you do the research? Like if your client doesn't know where his audience hang out?
Well, you just need to investigate. So the idea is like once you know exactly who you're excuse me, like writing to and trying to sell, you need to figure out what they do online. How they spend their time, are they an Instagram person or a Facebook person, and then you have to just trial and error until you figure out that place that they spend time in, and then you sell to one person, then you ask that person, where else do you hang out? Oh, I'm also in this group. Great, you join that group. So that's the thing, you make one sell, investigate that person, ask them questions, figure out where else they go, join that next group. Now you made 2 sales, where else do you hang out, where else do you hang out?
So it's like leads.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
And after you have leads and you're like, let's say, business in like the middle level, like not a huge, not like Disney, you know, but like you're a big business, right? Like this oil guy, I guess. What is your magic that you give him that you think he can't do by himself?
So once you're at that stage, like Casandrino's olive oil came to us because they were doing well, and to get to the next level, they need to be more authentic. Meaning they were very much into like, hey, our olive oil is great, buy it. What they weren't sharing is a family story. They weren't sharing them. That's where fantastic copy comes in, where the greatest copy is your ability to put you in words. So when we're having a conversation like this, I can read the words and feel the same energy that we're feeling with each other right now. That's what actually gets you to sell. And that's where people build brand loyalty. That's what Casandrino's needed. They need to go from a successful company to a brand.
So it's like storytelling muscle, right?
100%.
This is what it is, because you can take the same flamingo, right? And if you have like 4 sentences to tell about this flamingo a story with 4 sentences, and you can take the same flamingo and you can tell a 4-sentence story with an authentic way that you can connect to the person and to his heart. So for me, I think that if you want to be like this successful marketing company, you should have talented agents that can do a really good storytelling job.
Yeah.
And even in life, you know, it's like, because remember, it's not just the marketing. We said before, we spoke about his Hebrew. Any walk with, he choose the words, my Hebrew sucks. Okay?
We're working on it.
So now we change it, and it's a storytelling. We change it to, I'm still working on my Hebrew, so we need to shoot it in English, right? And we're not lying to ourselves. We're not saying, my Hebrew is amazing, I'm selling my Hebrew abilities right now, right? We are still saying the truth, but we are saying the truth with words that allowing us to grow, that allowing us to develop, that allowing us to get better. And we can do copy paste to the marketing world. I'm really, first of all, thank you. I connect to the way that you choose to do your work.
Thank you.
It's not, you can do marketing in a lot of ways. I connect to that. You have to be authentic, but there's way for your authenticity. Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm good in English. My English is so good, you know. Now
there you go, yeah.
My English is okay. And
It's
then,
so good and it's getting better.
And then I forgot what I wanted to say. What was I saying? And you can use your authenticity in a way that will attach and will carry hearts of others. Like, okay, I have this client and it's a family business, for example, where did it started?
Yeah.
And then you take it from there like seeds, right? What was, you think, the worst decision that you did in the marketing of some client? If you want to share.
I'm sure there's been plenty, to be honest. Probably before we realized how to actually like write to the right person, we would just write to sell it. So it was about probably just sell to everyone versus like sell to the right person, and that's icky. We don't like that world. So that was probably our worst mistake was, actually, this is a different, but same thread. There is we have a copywriting course that, thank God, does well, and there's a module in there that says templates are shit, frameworks are lit, which basically means people use templates like plug and play, like Mad Libs. Was there Mad Libs in Israel? You know what I'm talking about?
What is Mad Libs?
Mad Libs are amazing. So it's like basically like a story, we insert different adjectives or verbs.
It's like it's like a pattern, and that you put inside the words or.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So basically, like, people sell templates like, if you just write your sales page, which is part of a marketing funnel, and all you have to do is put in your specific business here, I'll write the rest. So people just basically change that you get it 90% done and you add 10%. That was a mistake that we first thought was going to work and realized it doesn't, because everyone's the same cookie cutter, doesn't build the authenticity. So then we learned frameworks, which is like how to think about the holistic copywriting process, how to think in the way that you're thinking, how it resonates with you, what decision making you do in order for you to buy. It takes a lot longer, but that's how you may build a connection. So the biggest mistake we made was, for a while we were pushing templates, which like obviously our sales weren't doing as well. Once we pushed frameworks and actually understood how to write to you, that changed everything. So our mistake was not taking the time to truly understand the person we were
frameworks. It means that in a certain businesses, you are trying, because there are, let's say, few businesses that are selling the same, more or less, product and or service, and so you are trying to find out the pain, the source of the pain, the source of the bleeding place of the clients, and this is what you call the framework.
Yeah, versus a template would be like, this person's just in weight loss, and so here's the same problems that they have because everyone else has this. But someone else's problem in weight loss could be different than everyone else's. It could be more specific based on their background, based on their trauma, based on their life experience. Frameworks allow you to do the investigation to figure that out. Or template would be like, they just want to look healthy and they want to look good. It's like, not everyone's like that.
But I'm trying to understand what is the framework exactly, because it means that you have like a list of questions that you ask them to know, to understand the framework?
Yes. So our framework, it's called the 5-part foolproof framework. So it's position the problem. So what's the main problem that they have in their own words? Like the question they're asking themselves, like, I wish this. Paint the pain. So what's the pain they're feeling? But again, how they would say it, how they would say it to a friend, how they'd say it to their mom. Sing the solution. So how good it feels to finally have this thing solved. How they're like, oh my God, that weight lifted off their shoulder, like that emotion. Disclose the data, which is just using facts and articles and research to back it up with proof, testimonies. And then offer up opportunities to overcome objections, which is showing them people just like them that have the same problem that they did, that now has that problem solved. But that's a big issue, because people usually show, like, here's a testimony and now this person's doing great. But if you can show that person, say, we had the same pain, we had the same struggle, now my life is great. And because we understand each other, I can also have that life because I'm looking in a future mirror. And so that's a framework.
That's okay. That was like the 60 magical seconds in that episode, I think. I agree with you in like so many ways about the thing, about the trauma. We already said it a lot in our episode. I think that a good profession guy, doesn't matter even what is the profession, went through the pain, went through the process, and only now we will be able to help others, because it's not only that you have to go through the pain, right? Because we are different. The way that I will experience pain will not be the way that you will experience pain. So I think at the minimum, things to be able to understand pain, even if it will be in another color, to help the person that need the service. It doesn't even matter what is that. And these 5 steps is also really cool, and I will tell you why. We are body, mind, and soul.
Yeah.
So I love that you are putting also the sensation in that the fact that you're letting your client to understand how you will feel after you sell that. You are working
the vision.
also.
You sell the vision, so
It's
we can
big than the vision. You are helping the client to feel the emotion, the energy feel that you will feel when this thing will happen, and then you can manifest that if we are in the energy world, right?
Exactly.
And
we are in the energy
and call
world.
it magic, right? And we are in the energy world.
Exactly.
And as long as you people will understand it more, our world will be a better place, and the light people will win. So please understand that you can manifest anything into your lives. Just be good and do good, please. Thank you. I like it. Thank you for that. There is a question here from home that they're asking, what is the difference that you think is the difference between the marketing world in the States and the marketing world in Israel?
The people are different. I've only spent 2 years in Israel on and off. Like, as we know, Jerusalem is very different than Tel Aviv. I also lived in Hod HaSharon. So like, I had very different spots. The people are different. So that's where we talk about templates wouldn't work. For me to try to sell to an Israeli is a whole different conversation than selling to someone from the Midwest.
Let's do, because you wanted to be a nurse, an actor, and acting, let's do a simulation for that, okay?
Okay.
If now we are meeting Israeli, how do you act like? How would you act?
I mean, I would act the same way as I'm acting now because I always want to be authentic. But like, let's say...
Cool.
Yeah.
The marketing about himself, he knows to sell himself. Okay, but let's say I'm another person here. I'm another person.
Well, I guess, like, let's say we were selling something in the survival...
I am Bibi right now and you're selling me something. I am Bibi, and let's see how it look when he tried to sell something to an Israeli light person, right? That cares about his people, that cares about that there is different truth, that cares about everyone, not only about his truth. How it will look?
Well, I know BB's concerns are different than Steve from Chicago in the simple sense that not even BB being the prime minister, but you have enemies on every side of your border where Steve in Chicago just has the winter to deal with as like his main obstacle. So it's like your pain, your stress is so different. You have 2 seconds to go to bomb shelter. Steve has nothing to fucking worry about in retrospect to that. So we talk differently. I have to relate to you differently. I can't sell to you the exact same way because you have such different concerns. You're trying
Maybe
to
you should be the minister in Israel. Maybe you...
Well, this is why I loved working for AIPAC for 5 years.
Tell us about it.
So AIPAC, for those that don't know, is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. It's a bipartisan pro-Israel lobby organization that helps strengthen the U.S. and Israel to bring U.S., Israel, and her allies closer together. So a lot
Before Israel kills himself right now.
Yeah, well, it's different conversation.
But funny one.
So for like people that don't know, like Israel, the phone chips in our phone is developed in Israel. There's a lot of cures for the medical world that Israel's created. The water drought in California is helping solved by Israel's technology. So it's just country and defense. Like, so we're just bringing together good guys to help solve issues. But my job at AIPAC was to raise money for people that I would cold call. And I would get them to meet with me, first time meeting, and ask you from $2,000 to $100,000 first time meeting me. And you could be as, let's say, like you're as liberal as ever. Let's say you're super conservative. I have to sell the exact same products, but I have to tell it to you in different ways. Because if I say the same talking points to you, if you're super conservative, you're gonna be like, fuck off, kid, I want nothing to do with you. So I need to know what exactly you care about. And then I need to be like how, in this case, AIPAC could solve that problem for you. And same thing with selling. From selling to BB versus Steve in Chicago, you guys have such different things you care about. I have to know you at your core to know what would resonate with you to get you to take action on something.
But I wonder, is it you find it more difficult to sell to Israelis than to Americans?
I haven't sold directly to an Israeli, but in the sense, when I was in Israel, I actually felt so much more at home in regards to the conversations. I like that, like, fast
This is because
pace, in your
authentic.
face. Yeah.
Let's say, I love Miami, I love energy here, but I think that the fact that people going through those stuff, like I grew up in, bombs all over me, I went to the army, and I think it makes me more authentic. And I feel that in Israel you can find more authenticity. And it's interesting, your question, because I'm wondering if because of the authenticity, it's harder to sell to that instead of like...
Because you know the word in Hebrew, friar?
I do not. Educate me,
Sucker. It's like
okay.
You manifest. You wanted to work on your Hebrew, and now you are a friar.
Now I'm fluent.
In
This is
Israel there is
perfect.
Dag Nachash song, and אנחנו בטח לא פריירים.
This is
Like,
if
it's
there
talking
is
about
something that Israelis are afraid more than bombs, is to be a sucker.
Oh,
This is the old thing about
This is the
Israelis.
challenging thing about
This
Israel.
is the old thing about Israelis.
Because it makes them
just don't
think that
let
everybody
me be
wants to hurt you, everybody wants to take from you something, you are need fuck, you are somebody screw you.
I will also say,
and it's connected to the fact that we are a country that surrendered by enemies, and you go up for war, and then if you're not cleaning your traumas, so disbelief stick in your energy field.
Well, I want to add to that. I think it's also a Jewish thing because I'm only third generation American, and a lot of my family that was in Poland isn't here anymore.
Yeah.
What generation Israeli are you?
I am the second generation.
I'm the third. My father was like, my grandmother was in the Holocaust.
My grandmother, her grandmother,
Polish.
and my grandmother, Polish
Well,
too.
We're from the same shtetl. This is great.
The same state.
Let's say Polish!
Isn't that wild though?
Mila,
Our family just went to
Mila
different
Street.
countries.
You know,
we have the same
You know,
Well,
in
Polish.
Warsaw, Mila Street.
Yeah.
Track what you are, you know.
So my grandmother is from there, and also my grandfather, and what you are saying that the thing about not to be a sucker or flyer in Hebrew is from the Holocaust. It's from the Polish. I think that this is something that the Israeli developed during the year. I didn't think about it like
my sense
a
of
Polish thing, because in Israel the Polish people are like they're not so many.
Yeah, I think it's less. I think it's just Jewish generational trauma from like the beginning because we've been kicked out of everywhere we've been in since being in Israel.
Can I kick you outside?
Yeah, we're used to this at this point. So that like I think it's just so ingrained because like Spain kicked us out, Germany kicked us out, like everywhere we've ever like been in aside from living in Israel when we were in the diaspora, we've been gone. So that's why I think like generationally. So my family before that obviously started in Israel, but at some point we migrated to Eastern Europe because I'm also Austrian and Russian and Ukraine. So it's like I'm an Eastern European everything bagel.
But does it affect on the odds to market in a place where people are so suspicious and
because
they don't want to be suckers. It's like it looks to me. I'm not familiar with this word, but I think it's harder because you are dealing with a person that in his mind he is afraid to buy something that afterwards his friend will tell him, why did you buy it? You pay so much. You know the joke about the Polish woman that she buy a dress, and after she pays, she's going to see in many shops if there is the same dress with less money to pay.
Yeah.
Okay, we have like only like 5-7 minutes, and I want to first of all to give you the chance to finish your answer about the difference of the marketing war between the state and Israel. Go for it.
So the answer is I think it's the difference selling to Jews and non-Jews in regards. I'm only speaking from the Jewish perspective. I'm not any other ethnicity or any other person, so I can only relate from Jew to non-Jew in the sense we're used to always being on the move and having like looking over our shoulder for survival. Israel is just the bigger manifestation of that because we're back in our home country. So what that means that if I'm selling to an Israeli compared to an American that's not Jewish, our life in America is much more comfy. So your fears of like your life going to shit can happen overnight just due to external threats. So that's what I mean. You have to take the time to truly get to know what that person worries about from a day-to-day perspective, because that person's worry in Israel is very different than that person's worry in America. Therefore, the words I use to connect with you is different. It can't be the same thing.
Yes, I saw that a few of the worries what kind of dress they have to put to their dog. Yesterday we said, sorry, sometimes this is a worry. It's also a worry, not only bombs.
Yeah.
Okay, funny. But I will repeat on my sentence because my mom is not listening. We have only 5 minutes and I want to help people, so I want to finish this guide with tools because I think that we need to do a cool ending for that because I think a lot of smart things were up here and I want to direct it to you. And what do you think about the point of to sell something in a way that everybody sell it? It's connected to the thing that she tried to tell about the joke that you didn't understand and didn't laugh about. For example,
she's going to improve the joke.
Okay, I will explain myself.
Okay.
I love to develop myself. I'm studying all the time, and once of the time that I studied about the marketing world, and it was from a good friend of mine that I love. It is the 11 billion time that I mentioned him here, Eliyav Aluf. It says something that is really true, and from my opinion, and I will be happy to hear your opinion. It's connected to this question. People, if we are okay, we said that when we are starting to sell something, we need to understand what is the audience. Who am I selling for? And then I'm starting this cool, right? Cool work for school, for high school. I'm starting to, okay, what is his fears? Who is he? Where he grew up. His needs will be different from other people's needs. And it's a conscious game, right? And a vibration game, right? So if we're looking from above, when it's also about the product, it's not only about the audience. After I'm understanding what is the audience and I can understand it only because of my product, I also need to look on my product. Why? Because if they're looking about a conscious game, people will, if they are searching for a publicity company, for example, so they will look not about the product, they will look who is using this publicity company, right? Coca-Cola. Using that, she's so successful. Okay, so for sure, this company is the best. But if I'm looking to buy a product that is makeup, I don't care about. I want to understand if the product is good for me. I don't care. Maybe I am care who is using it, but it's not the first thing that my brain and my conscience will think about. What do you think about that?
Well, what is the first thing your mind thinks about?
No, I'm trying to say that our conscious have differences about the way we are thinking, in temples.
Exactly.
When we are looking for something.
So that's what I mean, though, because your mind.
What I understand is that the product itself makes a difference because some products are, especially services. It's enough to know that a very big company is using your service to understand that probably they check it up and they and you are very good. Your service is very good.
Yeah.
But if the product is something that you use, it's not enough that someone else use the same product because maybe it's enough for the first time. But after the first time, if you use it because, I don't know, someone, a celeb, used it, and you use it, and for you, it doesn't work. So you don't buy it anymore.
Yeah.
So the product itself, it's also as something to do with another way to market it because of the product.
Yeah. I mean, if the product quality is bad, people aren't going to buy it again. You can get them by the first time.
I'm giving you 75, I have to finish. I'm giving you 75 seconds to give your guide to the beginner business, the beginner
small business
marketing in the world. Talk to them.
So if you're a beginner, don't give up. You got this. First thing, find events that if you are more social, find events where people are at and go explain what you're doing, and then because you'll be able to get so much research on what you're selling. If you are less social and prefer to do it online, then you need to figure out where they are hanging out, and then you need to start showing off how your product or service has changed your life and be as authentic as possible, sharing like the insights of your life, because you will attract people that just want to get to know you and also see how this is helping you. Then once you sell to a few people, what you want to do is you, ideally with their consent, record your conversations. Why? Because when you start to sell to a bunch of people, you record the conversation, you upload it to something called otter.ai. It is a transcription. So now I can take this podcast as an example, put it up there and see the word for words of what we said. Then what you do is you're going to take 3 different highlighters. You're going to take a blue one where you're going to mark anything that's their hopes or their dreams, red, anything to do what they're afraid of, and green, anything to do with money. Now you start highlighting these transcriptions and then you organize it in another Google Doc. So you'll start to see common threads of what everyone's saying, hopes, fears, dreams, and what their money beliefs are. Now you have your copy pre-written for you to actually then promote your words with online, because now you have a sample size of hopefully 10 or 15 conversations that you have recorded.
Wow.
Zaya,
You see,
wow.
this is a Jew guy. You see, it's like Brad Pitt, right? I want to thank you, really, for your authenticity, for your knowledge, for your good energy. I was happy. I didn't know you, right?
Yeah.
And I was happy to discover here right now that we think alike. And so I really connected to the way that you look and think and the way that you think. And now we are finishing, so because we are the product, how do we change your life for the better?
Is that the question?
Yeah,
How do you change your life for the
Answer.
better?
Yeah.
How did we?
Change your life.
How did I change my
No,
life?
how did
Therapy.
we?
Therapy is how
No.
you change your life. Every guy should go to therapy. That's the plug.
No,
That's how you change your life.
she wanted to know.
Is that not the question?
Yes, this wasn't the question.
But this was the answer,
Well,
by the
that's
way.
the answer.
But the question is in the
That's
answer.
my answer.
And we're done!
Yeah.
Thank you!